like to introduce Shri Kiran Vadlamani ji. I have known him for a long, long time. I like to call him the modern godfather of Indic thought in India because he's as an entrepreneur, as a scholar himself, and as someone who has put these platforms together. And I have known him for a long time, and I've seen him from the time when he was putting these motley groups together across India and United States. He had the vision. He had the vision that, we can have a platform where we can talk about our own, we can talk about ourselves, and we can relate our own stories, where we can narrate our own stories. So this is his vision, and as I said, I call him the godfather. And Harikiranji, you can take it away from here. You have an announcement to make, I believe, and after you say good things about us, you can take it away from us. There, I gave you a hint.
As always, you are extraordinarily all your praise and words, and thank you so much for those kind words. And fascinating conversation, of course, extraordinarily conducted by you. And Virendraji and Subhashkarji, thank you very much for that conversation. I personally gained immensely from that. I just have three messages today. Two on scholarships and one on Vigraha in Kashmir. So I'll just share my screen just for. Is my screen visible?
Yes, now it is.
Okay. There is a scholar by the name Walter Sledge. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So there is a book written called The Brahma's Curse: Facets of Political and Social Violence in Pre-Modern Kashmir. The present book deals with Kashmir and some of its largely neglected social and political conditions of the past, including the Islamization of the valley in the early modern period. In the last decades, research on Kashmir focused essentially on textual sources of chiefly the religious and philosophical genres, social misery, disasters, violence, famines, epidemics, and wars, which perpetually ravaged the country during its long and well-documented history, were largely, if not entirely, ignored by the academic studies of the above orientation. The resulting lopsided representation of Kashmir increased the romantic image inherited from the Mughals and contributed to the construction of the myth of an idyllic world in a glorious Hindu past before the advent of Islam. The two chapters making of this booklet, trying to put the pictures of the pre-modern realities of life in Kashmir somewhat into perspective. The first chapter focuses on the centuries-old stereotype of Kashmir as a happy valley. Particular attention is devoted to the prevailing cliché of the Brahmin class as a non-violent and pacifist. The second chapter deals with different notions of idol, Murti from Hindu, Buddhist, and Abrahamic religions viewpoints, as well as with contrasting perceptions of the destruction of an idol by an iconoclast and his victims. Historic evidence of idol smashing in Kashmir in the pre-Islamic and Islamic periods will be analyzed and presented together with the rationale of iconoclasm as maintained and debated by the Hindu and Muslim parties at the time. The chapter ends with the exposition of the sophisticated methods of desecrating Hindu and Buddhist sanctuaries in order to make them inoperative for all future. The title of this book refers to an old and widespread belief among Hindu Kashmirs that they had fallen under the curse by Brahma, a curse in which they see all their sufferings rooted. So when I saw this, it just, I mean, it didn't, he's a scholar, and so somehow it just didn't sound right to me. So I got a copy of this book. It's some 40 euros. It took me a long time to get it. Very few copies are there. So I have a copy of this book. I am at this point in time, of course, Subhashkarji and Virendraji can give a comment broadly about that content that is out there. But my appeal to the audience who are listening, and if there are any scholars, I would be glad to courier this book to you or ship it to you. And I would be happy if a proper scholarly response is given to this book. because intuitively it doesn't sound right, and it looks like an ideological approach, what we have seen of Indologists, trying to create. So this prima facie has that ideological bias towards Kashmir in the pre-Islamic period, trying to create a sort of a environment of violence. So my appeal to people who are watching, any friends that you know, to please reach out to us at namaste@indica.org.in. We will ship this book to you. We would request you, we'll give you a short-term fellowship to read the book, look at the references, look at the interpretation, and see the validity of this book itself. This is my first message. My second message is, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So the second message is, we have already announced a guided research and book writing fellowships on Kashmir. Broadly, 3 areas we would like: Shankara, Advaita, and Kashmir; Abhinav Gupta's influence beyond Kashmir; Tirthas and Kshetras of Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh. So we had announced this last year. We have already granted to 3 scholars, but this is such a vast topic. This is such a really fascinating topic. I would invite all the scholars who are watching, all the friends of scholars who are watching, to reach out to us again and write to us. We would be most happy to grant more scholarships to explore these very, very important areas. And the last message, can you see the screen?
Yes.
So on August 5th last year, when 370 was abrogated, we have announced this. We have taken a sankalpam to install 108 vigrahas, 3-feet vigrahas of Adi Shankaracharya around the world. We have already done 5 such vigrahas. Sorry. I don't know. Yeah, so we have done 5 such vigrahas so far. We have a mission to install 108 across India, and so this we made this announcement last year, that we now look forward to installing one in Kashmir. This is the land where Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada wrote about transcending duality and seeing oneness. We need to see that, and therefore my appeal to all of you is to take a collective sankalpam that one day that this all should happen in Kashmir Valley. So with that, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hari Kiran ji.